Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Adam.
Back in the good old days, ye old days, games used to cost one set amount. You pay your $60 or, in the before time, the long, long ago, $50. You'd get your game and then everyone would be happy.
Sadly, those days are long gone with the advent of DLC, season passes, special skins, weapons, and all the other tricks developers now use to nickel and dime you.
Yeah, we do pay a lot of extra money for extra stuff, don't we?
Yeah, and the latest offender is good old Nintendo, who's hiding a lot of the content of its upcoming Metroid 2 remake behind what else? Amiibos.
It's always Amiibo. The 3DS remake of Metroid 2, called Metroid Samus Returns, releases September 15th. There's already a lot of hype building around it, especially for Metroid fans who haven't had a new game in years, and sure, this is kind of a remake, but hey, it's actually a Metroid game, because we're not counting Metroid Prime Federation Force. That doesn't exist. As for Samus Returns, Engadget says that it plays like a modern classic. We actually we had it on at E3, and the developers showed us some of their gameplay. If you want to check that out, all looks pretty cool.
Cool, right? And to accompany the release of Samus Returns, Nintendo is releasing 2 new Amiibo figures, a crouching Samus and a really cool looking Metroid that looks like it's just broke out of Metroid jail. They joined 2 previous Metroid themed Amiibos, the original Samus and Zero Suit Samus, that was released for Super Smash Bros.
Now, so far, no problems. Everyone loves their Amiibo, especially if you're gaming. Well, except for one thing. It turns out that all of those Amiibo also unlock some content in Samus Returns. Now, that's not unusual in and of itself. Most Amiibo actually unlock something relatively minor, like a costume, some kind of extra bonus item, lots of cosmetic stuff.
The 2 older Samus Amiibos will unlock exclusive concept art and a special soundtrack gallery in Samus Returns.
Nice.
And the new Crouching Samus figure unlocks an exclusive Metroid 2 art gallery.
Also nice. But when it comes to the Metroid Amiibo, things start to get a little bit more dicey. That's because it unlocks a whole new difficulty mode in Samus Returns called the Fusion mode, along with Samus's Fusion suit. That's where fans are crying foul because they're being asked to pay a substantial amount of money to unlock some pretty significant content in the game. Essentially, the game is locked behind the additional transaction of Amiibo.
How much more? Well, GameStop currently has it listed for $30.
That's a lot!
So you're gonna have to pay a total of $70 if you want Fusion mode. That's a pretty steep price for a handheld game.
Well, it almost doubles the price. After Nintendo's announcement, Reddit lit up with threads about the Amiibo issues, both on the game and the Nintendo subreddits. Pretty much everyone's critical of Nintendo hiding the game's hard mode behind an Amiibo paywall. Who hides hard mode behind a paywall? Oh wait, hold on. They also did it with Zelda.
To address the controversy, a Nintendo rep tried to clear things up with US Gamers, saying that there's still a hard mode available in Samus Returns that doesn't require an Amiibo to unlock. But the rep confirmed that yes, the game's harder fusion mode, which is harder than hard mode, will require the Metroid Amiibo to unlock. The fusion mode won't be offered as a separate DLC in the eShop, you've got to buy the Amiibo. As US Gamer put it, so if you really want to see everything Samus Returns has to offer, you'll have to pick up some Amiibo to go with it.
Needless to say, this explanation that I'm sure was meant to calm everyone down did not do so. As Redditor Dr. Chavez said, it doesn't matter if it's hard or harder than hard, or Fusion or Rainbow Sunshine. The point is that it's in your game, but you're not allowed to play it unless you shell out for an Amiibo, which will almost certainly be impossible to find, even if you did want to buy one.
Another Redditor, I Only Saw Tokyo Drift, said that Nintendo's comments don't address the controversy. I Only Saw Tokyo Drift said, the point of the controversy is that digital content is locked behind the purchase of a rare, expensive, physical merchandise. The fact that there is another difficulty in between normal and fusion is irrelevant.
Now, what Nintendo's doing is a tactic called, well, it's pretty well known, on-disc DLC, which is content that's already available inside a game but requires a player to buy some kind of separate key to unlock it. It happens a lot. There's on-disc DLC in Resident Evil 6, Gears of War 3, Red Dead Redemption, God of War 3, just to name a few. Just because that happens a lot doesn't make it okay, but this isn't the only time. Street Fighter Cross Tekken famously locked away more than $100 in content this way in the form of costumes.
So yeah, on-disc DLC can get expensive for content that's already in the game.
Already made by the developers, it's ready to go.
And it's not just gamers who think this is a cash grab. Industry analyst Michael Pachter has referred to on-disc DLC as just plain greed.
I mean, this is the Pack Attack talking.
Asked why developers do it, he said, "I think DLC has been so successful that publishers are trying to get a jumpstart, and if you put it on a disc, it allows them to unlock it when they feel like it."
Now, for their part, Nintendo's definitely put content behind Amiibo in the past, like extra costumes in Mario Kart 8. There were a ton of things in Zelda Breath of the Wild that you would unlock, and you get like different chests and all kinds of crazy stuff that you could only do if you had the Amiibo. And they also locked the hard mode for Breath of the Wild behind, well, it wasn't an Amiibo DLC, Amiibo transaction, but it was a DLC transaction. More recently, with Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia, Nintendo hid special dungeons behind its Alum and Silica Amiibo.
That didn't raise the outcry that we've seen with Samus Returns, though.
That's because this is Metroid. Come on, this is the never mind.
So there's a possibility that Nintendo thought it could do a similar thing here, although hiding an entire game mode behind an Amiibo seems to be their most brazen attempt yet.
It is also worth noting that, as we noted earlier, Breath of the Wild DLC also unlocked a harder mode for the game, as some gamers said they'd have no problem paying for Fusion mode if it was in DLC form rather than an Amiibo. The concern is that the Amiibo is going to be hard to find because, as we all know, Nintendo and supply issues go together like peanut butter and jelly, which are a great combination. I will not listen to anyone who says otherwise. If you don't believe us, try getting your hands on an SNES Classic next month.
Of course, Nintendo could always just make enough Amiibo and solve this problem.
Sure, they could.
But they've got a bad track record on this issue, to say the least. We'll have to see how this shakes out, but as of right now, some Metroid fans are feeling like Nintendo is being a little too greedy this time, and that's not a good look for a game company.
Yeah, you don't want to waste that goodwill you got. What do you guys think of the controversy over the Metroid Amiibo? Is an entire game mode a whole difficulty too much to hide behind an Amiibo? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your Nintendo news, including which Amiibo they're forcing you to buy to fully enjoy a game, be sure to like this video, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the know. Cool, right? And according to, fucking goddamn it, and to a company.
You know, in the old days, like 50, and you got your game, and then everyone was happy.
Sadly, those days are long gone with the advent of DLC, season passes, special skins, and I read this wrong. Sadly,